Hello. It's ready. That was kind of bad. I tried to do the Amberlin Reed wing, but I don't have any liquid eyeliner. I also haven't done eyeliner in like forever. Also tried to do the Amberlin Reed poop bun, but I just think I kind of look like a lesbian. I just kind of look like a lesbian with short hair. Also tried to do the brows, like, fuck, do I even have any? I don't have any pictures with her with makeup on my desktop today. Fuck. That was like the whole point. Cause you see, the thing is that we don't look that different. So I'm trying to kind of build up the credibility that it's like game recognized game. Okay? So she doesn't have her poop bun. And oh, here it is. Oh. Wait. Does that look like me? That kind of look like me. Actually, let's move. I don't want to sit like this. Okay, back in the corner. Okay. I'm actually really mad about the poop bun. Maybe we can redo it really quick. And you know what? I will even, first of all, I heavy breathing like Amberlin Reed. Got that down. Maybe I can show, let's get this poop bun. I don't like having my hair this tight, and I don't think it's long enough to really get the poop effect. Like, I can't get it to like where she has it. Also, I don't think my hair is dirty enough. I just washed it. I was gonna have to change my hair day. Okay, we're looking a little rounder here. That's good. I was gonna change my hair day to today, but it was so greasy that it was like starting to separate, and it looked like I had washed my hair, but like for 24 hours. So, okay. Yeah, lifting my arms over my head fucking exhausted me. So, let's get started. If it's not obvious, which it might not be because probably isn't, probably isn't what I'm interested in today. A lot has been happening in the girlverse, of which I am a local, okay? And not in the derogatory way. I am a local. I have been perusing. I have been aware of the girlverse since 2018 because I had an eating disorder and I watched Amberlin Reed to feel better about myself. I can admit that. I can admit that that was awful and that was not cool. But I did. That's why I found Amberlin Reed. And the first video I found, I'll put a clip of it in here.
I've gone out to eat plenty of times in my life. And I kind of just want to talk about being fat. Even when I was in like elementary school, I would eat other kids' foods. Cool. When we went to go sit down, there was this girl who, you know, to me looked like she was maybe like 50 pounds bigger than me. I can't really say I asked Destiny. Like, I have this like crazy thing where if I see someone that's like really morbidly obese like I am, I'll literally ask whoever I'm with, hey, is that person bigger than me?
But the first video I found of Amberlin Reed was crazy. It was crazy. And not even crazy. It wasn't one of the craziest videos she's ever done. It was just, I'll just put a clip in. Anyway, I watched Amberlin Reed because I had an disorder. I wanted to feel better about myself. I wanted to feel skinny. So I watched like a 400-pound woman. With that, I have watched gorlworld, specifically Amberlin Reed. I know Chantel, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantel Marie, etc., is also part of the girlverse, and so is, I guess really, those are like the two main ones. I guess Quirky Love Rosie is considered a part of the girlverse now. I don't know. And then kind of an adjacent character is Anna O'Brien or Glitter and Lasers, you know? Fat women. The girlverse is just a collection of fat women that people watch on the internet. But with that, it's also a collection of fat women who post on the internet for people to watch. Man, why would you wear... I don't have her widow's peak. I didn't even think about trying to draw that in. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm just like, who would wear this hairstyle? And I know, like, I purposely have my camera angled lower so I look even more moon-like to kind of, you know, game recognized game. So we can really, so it's not so bad that a fellow fat is making fun of a bigger fat, but it's not like fat is fat, dude. Actually, I'm not so sure about that. Anyway, that's besides the point. So yeah, I've been a fan of the girlverse for quite a while. God, I even breathe like them. But yeah, now I'm like super self-conscious of it because I'm making a video about fat women, and I'm like, well, anyway, a lot has been happening in the girlverse. Not like, yes, with Amberlin Reed, more with Chantel. I saw a video, or I watched Mika's Rhetoric talk about girlverse, and one of the comments was I'll paste a comment in the editing because I'm gonna butcher it. It was basically about how Amberlin Reed could never be a fugitive in Kuwait, which is a crazy sentence to say out of context, but anyway, that's not the point. Amberlin Reed herself has been up to some shenanigans lately, which I think is really interesting and kind of funny, although not really funny because it's like, if you're privy to the universe, it's just kind of watching a toxic relationship online, and that's kind of like watching a toxic relationship like borderline against your will, even though it's like, well, you chose to click on the video. It's like, yeah, but they're like stop there. Anyway, what I wanted to get back to was that I am a local of Girlverse, of the Girl World, and obviously it sounds like cope. And it is largely cope to say that Amberlynn Reed being fat is the least interesting thing about her. But it is. It really, well, it's like the second least interesting thing about her. I think her personality is definitely the least interesting thing about her, which is so funny because she has like a whole YouTube channel where like, she's a full-time YouTuber. She's a full-time content creator. She doesn't create content for shit, but she's like a full-time content creator. So she does this full-time. Like, she's just a fat woman on the internet for full-time. And that is so interesting to me because I went from watching her as like, admittedly, like not like for really bad faith I mean, I guess I still kind of watch her in bad faith, but like really bad faith reasons of like needing to watch her to feel an ego boost, which I think a lot of her audience still does. Oh my god, I'm getting so sick of this fucking poop bun. Oh, that's not any better. Okay, Jesus Christ. Oh, I fucked my hair up. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, so, what the fuck was I saying? What was I saying? Something about Amberlynn Reed. Okay, yeah, I don't know. It sounds like cope that, like, her being fat is the least interesting about her, but it really is because all of her, she is a serial abuser. Which is like, well, that's not very fun. Why would you watch a serial abuser on YouTube? First of all, people watch worse shit, and I will stand on that. I will use that as cope, and I will use that as an excuse to justify what I'm doing. But yes, Amberlynn Reed's incredibly abusive, despite her, well, actually, probably because of her size. All of her exes have made, well, all of them. Sorry, all except for one of them have made YouTube channels to battle the allegations that she has made against them, because she doesn't think, like, it's actually quite hilarious how smug she is and how much she thinks like no one's gonna call me out for this, no one's gonna call me out that all my exes break up with me, all my girlfriends have broken up with me and then never spoken to me again, and also I would be dating a new one within the week. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, almost all of her exes have had to make YouTube channels to come out and clear their name against allegations made against them, which is crazy. It's crazy when it happens once, okay? Because it's like, oh fuck, like the internet is like not only forever, but like people will see what you're fucking saying and they will respond to it on the internet, especially if you have a following like Amberlynn Reed, which wasn't like, it's not like Mr. Beast level or whatever, but like it doesn't need to be. It's big enough where her fucking ex found out and had to come and say, no, I did not do the thing she said I did. And then another ex had to do the same thing. And then another ex had to do the same thing. And now the current ex is doing the same thing. Like, this shit's crazy. It's crazy. There is a aspect of her weight that is intriguing, not just because it's like fun. It's like, oh, make fun of fat people. I got nothing against fat people. Look at me. I got nothing against fat people. I have nothing against fat people. What I find interesting is we kind of know what mental illness is, but what level of mental illness do you have to experience to become 500 pounds, okay? Girly is heavier than that of a silverback gorilla, which that's not fat shaming. I'm not saying you don't deserve basic human rights because you're heavier than a silverback gorilla, but you are heavier than a silverback gorilla. How do you get that? Like, well, obviously, we also know that she's been very traumatized. She had a very traumatic past. She was in the foster care system. And there's, allegations all around about her experience being bad, like worse than she says, not as bad as she says, or exactly as she says, but it's definitely not exactly as she says because she lies. What, like, level of fucking, like, delusion and just mental illness do you have to reach to look like this? Okay, and this right here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but this one, the one that I was making fun of, like the one that I was, that, with the poop bun, this is an older one. This is an older picture. The one with her eating the taco is also a little bit older. Like, I don't think any of these are actually that recent. Also, sorry, hold on. Actually, I want to pause the timer till because this one is so funny. This one is so funny. This one in the corner. Oh my god. I might have to make a whole video about her Facebook escapades when she was younger because they're so funny. She's so funny. And like, this shit is like, okay, yeah, it is laying the grounds. Like, I think she has always been a fucking monster to deal with. And you can see that in evidence of her old social media posts because she's terrible. She just says things that are absolutely terrible. She portrays herself as a fucking brat. Like, I don't think you really need to do a lot of, like, critical thinking to fill in the gaps when she says it, like, so obviously. Oh, yeah, sorry, anyway, but this one is so funny. Also way older, like, and she's still like morbidly obese, which again, you don't, it's not that you don't deserve basic human rights because like you're obese, but now she is bigger than all of these, okay? And instead of like focusing on her mental health and getting away from her weird toxic girlfriend, she's like screaming fat phobia, taking social media breaks, which, pause, okay? She takes social media breaks. She's a full-time social media content creator. Social media is her job. And she just takes breaks and orders takeout like 12 times a day or a week if she's feeling skinny. If she's feeling skinny, it'll only be 12 a week, which is fucking crazy. Because has anyone ordered DoorDash? Has anyone ordered DoorDash, or is that a unique experience? No, people have definitely ordered DoorDash. That shit's expensive. And like in this economy, like how the fuck are you still affording this? It's like the fucking, like, the audacity to come on here and make a show of your fucking abusive ass ex. I'm getting tired of this. I'm gonna pause in a second. But to make a show, to make a spectacle of your abuse, which I'm not gonna say, this is all so out of context. I might put clips in here, but most of it's just gonna be out of context because I have no one else to talk to this about, so I have to put it here, and then I will just continue to put it here. But whatever, I have to say this today. I have to establish myself as a girl worlder. Anyway, so to make a spectacle of your abuse, which I don't doubt that Amberlyn Reed was abused, and I also don't doubt that she abused her abuser. That it was mutual. That it was mutual abuse, and that they're both fucking psycho. Okay? I have no doubt about that. I'm gonna resume because I would love to wrap this up in a minute because I'm already like, there's way too much to say and just not enough time for it, so we just have to kind of call it when we can call it. And I think I've still gotten gotten some of my grievances out. Also, I did my practice for a cat eye. Oh my god. It looks a lot better because the camera compresses everything and makes things look a lot smoother, but that's just because that's the camera. That's what it's going to do. Not me getting a phone call. Hold on, girl, I got 10 seconds. But yeah, the girlverse will continue. This is probably part one of many because I think everyone in my life is tired of hearing about this. And if they're not, well then they I don't know. Maybe I can send this to them, and then they'll be like, "Wow, it was worse than just hearing you talk about it," and that's okay too. Okay, all right, that's time. We're done.